Hello, and welcome to Color Theory for Markers, episode 3.5. And today we're talking about the color green. Now, I'm actually filming this introduction one day after the live stream because I love sharing coloring tips and art information with viewers, which makes the live streams interesting, but they're also longer than I'd like. So this is the edited version of the green color swatching stream, where we've cut out some of the fluff and the chatty stuff at the end. Today's video is just the important parts from the green color swatching process. I've cut out the preliminary talk and the hellos, but I've left all of the important color exploration and color swatching. And I have to warn you, the edits here are going to be a bit rough because apparently I love running sentences together with no good place to cut the footage. So if you don't mind the choppiness, this version of the live stream is perfect if you only want the quick version. Now, if you want the full live stream, which frankly is full of some really good tips for those of you buying markers and trying to build a full Copic collection, well, if you want that, then click on the live stream tab on my YouTube channel and you'll find the hour-long version of green color swatching over there. Okay, enough of this intro. Let's join the live stream in progress. As I said, we are working on that green Lily of the Valley image, and today we're going to select markers. It's the swatching process for selecting green markers for pretty green leaves. Now, I do it a little bit different, and I'm here in my studio here completely unscripted. So this is basically a walk through my head as I start to select markers and then colored pencils to color the green leaf parts of the Lily of the Valley. And then next week, I'll be releasing another video. So that one goes live on Friday. I wrote the date down here, Friday, April 28th. And at that point, we will go ahead and color the image together. So what is the image that I'm talking about? Well, I have a spring kit, and that has the daffodil from last month. It has the Lily of the Valley from this month, and then it also has dogwood, which is next month. So it's a nice big value because I'm trying to make sure that these classes are accessible to as many people as possible. And then besides the digital stamps, the 3 digital stamps, and then the color wheel, then I also have the worksheet that we'll be working with today. And I've got a photo of that somewhere. Oh, here it is. So today's worksheet, this is so that you can see the photo reference that I'm looking at. So same thing, both sides, it's the same picture, which is available for you at Pixabay. So the link is down in the description, and you can go ahead and download that to a digital device. Your phone or an iPad or even your computer screen will work. And I'll show you kind of how we do that color tour. But for those of you that like to work on paper and like to test, you'll see that there's the photo reference on the worksheet. And then down below, there are 4 colors of green that we're kind of shooting for today. Now, whether you get there exactly or not, is all about your taste, your preference, and your marker collection. But those are the greens that I'm shooting for, and it just kind of gives you a peek into what my ultimate goal is. And then I've got my paper down here. Now, if you tuned into the daffodil last month, it just kills me to announce this, but we worked on Cryogen cardstock, which has been my favorite for over a decade. I've been coloring on it for a very long time. I love that paper. To me, it's the perfect mix of paper for mixed media. It works with my markers, and then it works with the colored pencils. And the day after I live streamed last month, I found out that Cryogen had been discontinued. So I'm in the process, just like anybody else who's starting out, I'm in the process of trying to find a paper that I like. Today, I am working on Strathmore Bristol board, level 300. You'll notice that the Strathmore boards It's called Bristol board, but it's really more of like a nice paper. Um, it's nice and thick in a cardstock. This is what I started out on when I took my first marker course way back in 1989. Yeah. First year art school, markers were required, and we were working on Strathmore Bristol. This is more of an advanced type paper. If you're a beginner, I'm going to recommend that you work on the Express It blending card. I teach all my beginner classes on Express It, and that's because it self-blends. It makes your life easier when you're working with a paper that automatically wants to blend, that is designed to work with markers. And that's what Express It is. It really is the top of the line. And when you use a good paper, you get good results. When you use a cheap paper, you get frustrated. So I really do recommend that the beginners are working on the Express It. And then for intermediate advanced, go ahead and try the Strathmore. Like I said, I started marker work on this a long time ago. It's not bad paper. It's not self-blending. You kind of have to work with it a bit, but it is really great with the colored pencil, and it works for both mediums. So it's pretty good. And remember, always swatch. Always, always, always. We are always swatching on the same paper as the project that you intend to do. So if you're coloring your project on one of your old sheets of Cryogen, you're going to swatch on Cryogen. And I know that's going to hurt, but you need to swatch on the same type of paper that you're going to be working on, because the colors look different, the blends work different, and sometimes blends don't work at all on certain types of paper. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about those greens. Let me get those greens up here. This is the Lily of the Valley, and again, you can download this from Pixabay. It's absolutely free. And what I do is I pick a photo reference. Now, this is not the photo reference that I drew from, but I also start with color references. This is what a lily of the valley looks like, because if I leave it to my imagination, I'm going to color it with the wrong kind of greens. So what if I were to color this lily of the valley with like pine tree kind of greens? It's going to look a little bit off. You need to have something to make sure that what you're remembering is correct, because what you store in your head gets warped and changed over time. Your memories change. We're just not good about holding color in their head. I've been working with color for 30 years now, and I'm not real good about totally remembering, hey, that car that I had 6 years ago, was it R39 or was it more closer to like an R46? In my memory, it's just red, but if I have to pinpoint which red, I'm not going to pick it right. How long ago has it been since you've seen Lily of the Valley? What are the odds that you're going to pick the right greens? Yeah, some of you are going to be more accurate than others. So I always start with that photo reference. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll fire up my iPad with the photo reference on there. So it's going to look a little bit strange to you right now because, it kind of looks a little bit blown out. But that's because you're looking at a digital thing on a digital camera with lights overhead. And yeah, it's a little bit blown out. But this is what I'm doing at home. I am always giving myself a color tour. So what I'm doing is I'm just opening up, and I'm not thinking leaf, because if I think leaf, I'm going to pick my favorite greens. Instead, I'm just observing, and I'm trying to see if I see anything interesting or new or unique. What I see is a lot of darkness right in here, super deep. And on my iPad here in real life, and if you're looking at the Pixabay photo right now, this is even darker right now than it shows on camera. The other thing that's kind of interesting is that when I head up here, see there, just for reference, this is the bottom leaf. When I head up towards the flower, there's this area right here. And I'm looking up there on camera, I don't know if it totally gets captured, but there's an area right here where if you're looking at the Pixabay version that you've downloaded, right in here, there's something weird going on here. There is red. There's a warmth going on here, and it is not warm green. It is outright red there. Kind of interesting. So this happens a lot with plants. I happen down, I've got like a sunroom, and in my sunroom, I have, I believe it's called a ruby ficus rubber tree plant. And when those leaves sprout, they are red. They're very, very red. They are like, in my Copic collection, they come out brand new, like R59 colored. And then as the plant matures, they turn a little bit more green, but they start red. And there's a lot of plants that have that little bit of red pigment in it. And apparently Lily of the Valley is one. So I'm seeing it right there. And now that I'm kind of cued into it, I'm going to look for hints of red elsewhere. And I can kind of see that this redness, it's faint, but it's there. Oh, look. And then here it is down here. It looks like it's along the edge and in a little bit of those stripes. That's an interesting thing that I can incorporate into my project. All right, let me go up here and look. That was one set of leaves. Now let me look at the other ones. Oh, and here's this red again, confirming that there's that weird warmth going on. I do notice that there's striations here. These are actually the veins, and you'll see this in a lot of bulb flowers, so like tulips and daffodils. If you're looking at like a tree leaf, they usually have veins that come out almost like the fingers on your hand. They come out like in a fan shape kind of thing. That's not true with the bulb flowers. The veins almost run like the whole entire length of the plant. So that's a texture that I could be incorporating when I color it next week. Looking down here at the base, oh, look at, if I were to color that base part, you can obviously see the red right there. That's interesting. I'm just looking at the color. I'm not trying to identify it. Just giving myself a grand tour of what I'm looking for. I also notice that on the edges, it gets golden. Okay, so that's I've got like a variety of greens running through here. I've got some that look a little bit cooler and some that look a little bit warmer. I've got that golden edge, and then I've got that mystery red kind of going through there. I think that's a lot of stuff to look for. Ooh, red right there. Okay, so let's talk about green in general and tips for Copic as you're looking for those greens. So my first tip is shoot for the YGs rather than the G family. And if you're just building a marker collection right now, I would buy all your YGs before you buy the Gs. Why is that? Well, because the Gs are very, very bluish. They're based on a color called Viridian. And it's a lovely paint color, but what I notice when I go outside in my yard, I don't see a lot of Viridian in my garden. I've got a big tree line out to this side. I don't see a lot of Viridian green out there in the trees. Meanwhile, I look down at those YG selections here, and I can see every single one of those colors in my garden. So if you're somebody that's going to be coloring a lot of plants and flowers, I think your best value is to build your YG collection before you build the Gs. Okay? It's just, I think they're more versatile overall. And then there's this other thing is that YG markers, YG greens are a combination of yellow ink and green ink. That's why they're called YG, right? The G inks don't have that yellow in there. And the G inks are kind of stubborn. They don't want to blend as well, which is something that's a problem for beginners. We have one color that in my classes, we call it Devil's Spit. It's G28. That color doesn't want to blend with anyone. And there are some days where I pull out Devil's Spit and I can work okay with it. And then there are other days, and inevitably it's like when I'm teaching or trying to demonstrate, that G28 just doesn't want to play. So the Gs in general are harder to blend. That yellow component of the YG makes it an easier one to blend. So just overall, for beginners or anyone who's building their collection, shoot for the YGs first. They're more organic, they're easier to blend with, and I see them more in real life, so they're more useful overall. Let's go ahead and just start swatching. I have talked enough. Let's go ahead. I've got my Strathmore paper right here. I've got a green isolation over here on the side. Get my face up there, and I'm just gonna start looking at that color. trying to decide what it is that I see there. Okay, so looking at my collection here, and then looking up there at the greens, kind of indecisive here. Just give me a moment to get my feet wet here. I'm just gonna, I talked about it. I'm just gonna sample some Devil's Spit. So this is G28. All right, so what I see when I put that, see how it's lighter, yes, but it's a little bit too blue. Let's try the next one darker and see if we can match that leaf a little bit more. Well, that's closer. Just trying to match it up. It feels too cool for me. And just so you know what I'm doing here, this was G29. And I will go ahead, by the time we're done here today, this is going to be full of swatches. And I will go ahead and scan that when I'm done with the live stream so that you can look at what I've been doing in person and kind of look at those colors. All right, so let's try another super dark in the G family. Whoa. That is so not the right color. Wow. This one is G19. Yeah, just totally wrong family. Let's hit another dark one from another G family. So let's hit the G9. Just to emphasize, wow, there's not a lot of difference between G19 and G09, but whoa, that is not the right green. Wow. So let's go shopping in our YG family. All right, so I happen to be a big fan of YG97. I use this color quite a bit, and it's looking pretty olive. So we've gone from one extreme where we're going to blue-green to something that's got just way too much yellow in it. Might kind of work up there, but no. Just to confirm, let's pull out the YG99. And yes, that is a little bit more green than the YG97. The YG97 is just a diluted version, but no, that's not feeling right to me. All right, keep testing. And some days I hit it on the first shot. You know, I look at a photo and I say, yes, that's the color. I grab the marker and off to the races I go. Other days you have to putz around a bit. All right. YG67. I used to teach with this marker all the time, and then for some reason I just kind of stopped. I don't know why. Oh, whoa, look at that. Look at that. You can hear the excitement in my voice. It's a little bit off on camera there, but here in person, wow. Okay, so this is YG67. I am keeping this one in my hand. Wow, yes. That is the green we're shooting for. Now, of course, it's not dark enough for down there, but they don't make a YG69. All right, but I like that for right in this kind of area right here. Wow, okay, so I like that one. All right. What is its partner? Well, its partner is YG63. So let's just go ahead and give this just a little swatch test. So there's that 67. And here is the 63. Yeah, no. What happened there? That is not the right color. No. So this is YG63. Well, darn it, because Copic says that these two markers work well together. The 67 and the 63, they're both in the same number family, but this is very sage green. Ugh, not right. That is not working for me, so I'm putting that one back. All right, so let's try something that feels a little more greener. So I'm going to pull out my old standby. I teach with this one all the time now. This is YG 17. Whoa, that'll work in that area. It's a little lighter, but watch what happens when I go from 67 into 17. I think that's going to be the combination. You know, sometimes you just know it when you hit it. And I'll just ease that blend a little bit. Remember, the Strathmore does not blend as well. Hey, look at that. I'm just kind of turning it. Yep. I like that. It's a little bit lighter, but I like that. I can work with that. All right. So what is this? This is YG 17. So I like this one. And I like this one. And this is the 67 into 17. And this was the 67 into 63. Both of those are YG. If I don't write it down, I will forget what it is that I'm looking at. 5 minutes from now, I won't know what markers I used there. Okay, so what I am seeing, I'm pretty happy with that. But let's go a little bit more yellow. Let's see if we can take it a little bit more yellow, because remember, when we were looking at that, we were seeing some golden color along the edge. All right, so what do I have that's a bit more yellow? The combination here is a 6-7. This is a 1-7, so I'm going 6-7 to 1-7, and that's because the 1-7 is actually misnumbered. Let's try something that ends in a 5, so a YG25. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. What do I think there? It's a little bright. It's a little intense, but I think that can work for the golden edge. So that is YG, what was that, 25? Yeah. Our old standby YG03, I think, is going to be too light. We use 03 a lot. Whoa, and that is pretty fluorescent there. And I do not like that, but I like the 25. Anything else I could try? The 45s are very mint ice cream, so I'm not doing those. And we already decided that the YG 95s are olive. You notice the way I'm describing these colors is in terms of flavors. They're organic. I would never I could not come up with a food that is G17 colored. They're just, the G's are so weird. And I even do this when I'm painting with watercolor. I avoid that Viridian paint like the plague. Let's try YG05 just to see if we can beat this YG25. Woo, that looks like a highlighter. Nope. YG05, big X through that one. Absolutely not. That one is not passing muster. It's just, it looks like an Avery highlighter. Okay, so what have I got here? I've got the 67 that I like. I have the 17 and the 25, and I swatch tested it over here. Let's try and get all three of these colors in a row. So here's the 67. And remember, I'm not trying to make the best blend here. I'm just testing to see how these colors flow, because you can blend any two markers together if you give it time and some effort. But I'm not trying to make a blend here today. I'm just looking at the colors to see if they kind of merge the way I want them to. And I like that. Wow. I like that a lot. So here we go. That is, that's my green blend. Now we need some underpaint under there. And what I'm noticing, even before I get to the pink, what I'm noticing is way down here. Look at how blue that color is looking. The green has a coolness to it down there. Let's try and get some of that in there. Now we could use that G29, I think, but let's just go for it and let's try something that's very bluish. Okay, I got two ideas here. I'm going to pull two markers and we're going to see which one works best. I'm pulling a BG78 and I'm pulling a B97. And let's see what those look like underneath our dark green, because now I'm shooting for a green that's this general flavor, the 67, but I want a little bit of coolness underneath it. Okay. So let's go ahead and try the B97 first. Just laying that color down, putting the 6-7 on top of it. And that gives me what I want that G29 to look like. I kind of like that. So this is B97 with YG67 on top of it. Kind of like that. All right, let's try the BG78. This is a little more green, and this is probably going to be a little bit more forgiving because it's more closely related to the YG67. Oh, wow. Okay, this is a tough choice because they both work, but I kind of like how this one is a smidgen darker. So this one is BG78 with the YG67 on top. They both work. So if you don't have the BG78, because that's not a color that a lot of people have, go ahead and try the B97, but I think I'm going to work with this one. All right, so what's my new blend here? Got to keep these straight. All right, so my new blend is that BG78. I'm putting the 67 on top of it. Love that. And now we're kind of wandering off into those yellowy greens. Oh, I like this. That's quite a nice little blending combo. So this is 78, the BG, and then YG 67, and then 17 and 25. All right, let's find an underpaint for it. And we saw that kind of pinkish color underneath there. And if I'm looking at my color wheel, we kind of find those green YGG colors, and then opposite on the wheel down here, we're getting into the RV or V family. And I've got those two little dots there for you. So I was wrong. Instead of shopping for a red, I should be shopping for RV or a pinkish violet. So let's try, I underpaint with this a lot. I don't think it's going to be quite dark enough, but this is V05. I'm going to put that 67 on top of it. And I kind of lose it. All right, let's look for something stronger. So V06. And I actually should leave a little bit of this violet showing so that you can see what the undercolor is. It's kind of nice. So this was V05 and YG67, and this one was V06. That's not too bad. We're really just looking at this color right in there. So don't let this other stuff fool you. You're just looking at that color in isolation, and we're looking for the dirty color that's down there in the shade and shadowy areas. All right, so let's go crazy. Just grab a really bright hot pink here. RV09. Keep my marker straight here. It's very strong. I'm going to say no, because what I'm personally reading right here is this color is more pink than green. If I'm just looking at this, the color that's in that square, it's reading as pink, and I don't want it to read as outright pink. So I need something that's a little tamer. I don't like RV29 because those are super pinks. I want something that leans a little bit cooler, a little bit more towards violet. Let's try RV55. Oh, this is not going to work. This is too light, and I can already tell because it's about the same lightness as that VO5. Yeah, you can barely see it underneath there. Yeah, I don't see the color at all. So RV55, not going to work. Let's go a little bit darker. The next one over here is RV66. Here's that 67 over the top of it. Woo! Okay, this is definitely reading as green, but it is reading as a muddy green. We're looking just at the color in there. You're not looking at the green around it or the purple around it. RV66, was it? Yeah, 66. So to me, it's between the VO6 and the RV66, which both end in a 6. So that value is what we're looking for. So let's just go ahead and swatch them both out. And I'm going to add that BG back in there. So here is that RV66. I haven't used that marker in a long time. Oh, that's pretty. I like this so far. I'm not trying to make the best blend here. I'm just looking at what these colors, if they feel like they're related and running smoothly from one flavor to the next. Ooh, I like that. So this one has the RV66. Now let's try the one, what was the other one? VO6. So let's try the VO6. Same thing, gotta find my marker here. Got a mess on my desk already. VO6. Okay, that one makes me say ooh too. That's the 67 over the top of it, and I really love the 78, that color right there, where we're seeing that blue underneath the green. Love that. It has nothing to do with the VO6 because the VO6 stops. I'm just really liking that tone right there. And here it is over here. That's kind of self-blended. Sorry if it was up too high there. All right, so that was the 67. Now let's do the 17. And then the 25. Wow. Which one do I like better? They read about the same on camera, but what I notice is that this one has a definite pinkish cast to it. And remember how we were seeing that pinkish cast, the red cast in the leaf, whereas this one just reads as super shade. All right, so I'm going to say that you could work with either blending combination. This one is the safer one, but if you got that one, I think that's what I'm going to color with next week. I really like that. So this one is safe. This is safe person's choice. And then this one is the wild choice. Because the color right here, it makes you think, is that pink? Is that green? I think I can really play with that when I'm working on the actual Lily of the Valley. So this combination, once again, is RV66, and then it goes into BG78. And my numbers are not going to line up here because this is where the 66 is, and this is where the 78 is. And then YG67, and then YG17, and YG25. That's nice. I like that. It's more markers than I usually work with. Normally I work with 3, maybe 4 markers in a blending combination, but I like that I'm getting that pink tone, which I didn't expect to see in the leaf, because when I first looked at that, I thought I saw green. Here's the BG78. I like the blue. So to me, it justifies doing a slightly larger blending combination. I really like that. Okay, so this is the one that I'm going to be working with next week. If you have the VO6 and you don't have the RV66, or if you just want to play it safe, you can substitute the VO6. And what was the other one that I said was a good substitution? Oh, the B97. This isn't too bad. Of these two, this one is more interesting. But if you don't have the BG78, you can try the B97. Copics are flexible. It's not always one answer fits everyone. There's lots of options here. VO6 is an option. RV66 is an option. 78 is an option. Or you can come back here and do the B97. That's kind of nice too. Not too bad. But I like this combination. We've got some nice big leaves. So having the extra markers is going to help us as we, longer, the bigger the object, the nicer it is to have more markers in the combination. And this is the one that I'll be working with next week. And that's the one that I will update the website, the resource page with. So I will update that right when we're done with the live stream. Excellent. So, not seeing a lot of questions going on here right now. Got just like maybe 2 minutes. If you've got a question, you can go ahead and put that in there. Oh, let's talk about colored pencils. Colored pencils really quick while I'm waiting if anybody has any questions. So what colored pencils am I going to pick for this? Let me move my iPad out of the way. Pulling out my colored pencils here. Let me get this out of the way. My colored pencils selection is almost always inspired by the markers that I choose. So for that little taste of pink, I am going to pull out Prismacolor Magenta. Magenta number 930. 30 years of experience working with this stuff. I just know that magenta is the color. That is, yes, right there. It mimics that RV66. Let me pull that color out so you can see it. So yes, I know I'm definitely going to be working with Magenta 930. So I'm going to put that, I got a little cup here. Put that in my cup along with the markers that I'll be using. Put that RV66 in there. I need a bluish green. So there's my greens, here's my blues. They're all kind of close together, but these blues over here are leaning towards purple because that's my purple section. So the violets, blue, I want a blue that's a blue-green. Or what about a green-blue? How about peacock green? Let's try this one. Normally I use a lot of Prussian, but I think, yeah, I like that. I can play with that. So this is peacock green, number 907. And that kind of mimics the color that I'm seeing in that BG78 area there. I've got green markers, so I don't really need a green pencil, but I do want something that's kind of for a highlight. Let me try the lime peel, because I know lime peel kind of fits in this YG family. I like that. Lime peel, I use this in a lot of classes. 100. Okay, but what I'm noticing is if I'm going to do, and I'm not even on camera there, sorry. Here was me coloring the lime peel over there. But lime peel is very transparent. So like I'm going to try and do, no, that doesn't add a highlight at all. Let's try chartreuse. Yeah, that's working a little bit better. Okay, so I'm not sure which one I'll be using. It'll be in up to the circumstance when I pull it out to use it. This is 989. These are both almost the same color, but this one is more opaque, and so it may show up over the green better there. Sometimes I run a little bit of white highlight over things, but I don't with leaves. With leaves, instead, I use cream. Oh, and you can barely see that. Cream is like a buttery color, and it is number 914, and that is usually what I pull out for leaf highlights. So there's 5 pencil options. I don't know if I'll use both the lime peel and the chartreuse or just one or the other. But I'm definitely going to be working with those two. Definitely going to be working with the cream and then one of those. So there's my combination. Is it what you would have picked from looking at that photo reference? Maybe it's a little bit different. You might have other ideas and other options there. That's fine. I want you to start using the colors that you see.